Om Shanti. Do you feel fortunate? How many of you feel very fortunate? Yes. Today's Murli is all about that. And I was thinking about this thing which Baba said yesterday, that I am the teacher, the father, and the Satguru for the future. Yes, Baba says, I am giving you an inheritance, teaching you and taking you to liberation and liberation in life. And all of this is for the future. And people think that in their present life, if they have a father who is very rich or a teacher who is known to teach you in a manner that you get a very good job, or you have a guru, then you are considered to be fortunate in this birth. Yes, people think that if you have a great father, great teacher, and a great guru, you are fortunate. And here we have the Supreme Father, the Supreme Teacher, and the Supreme Satguru, who is giving us everything we need to ensure that our 21 births are taken care of completely. And this is a matter of great fortune. And we, the children, belong to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Teacher, and the Supreme Satguru. But this realization of how fortunate we are is number-wise amongst us. Not everybody feels it the same way. Now, Baba today is talking about not ever crying or feeling a sense of loss. Yes? Do you ever feel a sense of loss in any circumstance? Yes, we do. Correct? We do feel a sense of loss. So even if, you're cooking something and it doesn't turn out right, then you feel that some ingredients were put to loss. Yes, half kg paneer was put to loss, so it was wasted. You feel a sense of loss. Something broke, you feel a sense of loss. Or you lost some money, or you lost a loved one, you feel a sense of loss. But Baba says, you children who belong to the Supreme Father, Teacher, and Satguru should never feel a sense of loss, come what may. Is any one of you in that stage where you never feel a sense of loss? Yes. So we are not in that stage. Now, Baba says you should be there. And why are we not there? There is something missing in our dharana. There is something that Baba is saying and we are not getting it, or we are not doing, and that's why we are not there. So we will try to figure out today, what is it that gives you security, that allows you to stay happy and feel no sense of loss, come what may. Now, let's think about this one thing. So, If somebody is very wealthy, okay, does that person have an assurance that whenever he needs that wealth will be available to him? You have wealth, but can you be assured that when you need it, it will be available to you? You can't be assured. We went through demonetization. That phase told us that you may have wealth and it may not be available to you. We went through lockdowns and other times. There is a possibility that the infrastructure of the banking system could collapse. And these will be times when you will have wealth, but you will not have access to your wealth. And it is a possibility. But still, somebody who has wealth, at the back of his mind, he feels assured that his wealth will come to his rescue. And what gives him that confidence? That confidence comes because he has done the karma of earning that wealth. And why I'm bringing up this point is, everything is here. It's not there. Your sense of whether you are rich or poor is here. Your sense of whether you're protected or you're vulnerable is here. And I was discussing this thing with a brother one day, and he told me that safety and security are two different things. Safety is a physical thing, and security is a psychological thing. So you may not be safe, but you can feel safe. Or you may be safe, but you may feel unsafe. And when you feel unsafe, that is called insecurity. So there are two different things. One is the external reality, and another thing is your state of mind, which determines how you feel in a certain situation. Am I clear about this? Yes, so these two are, and most of the times they are unrelated. Yes, so maybe you got a lot of wealth through means that were inappropriate. And then even if you have a lot of wealth, you feel insecure very much inside. Is that possible? Somebody has everything taken care of, but they feel very insecure. Now, what determines how you feel in a situation? So, how you feel at all times is determined by your karma and your sanskar. By your karma and your sanskar. And Satyug is Satyug because of your sanskar. Let's understand this law. Sanskar is the foundation of sansar. Sansar is not the foundation of sanskar. So when every soul is fearless, every soul is secure, every soul is powerful, you create a safe world, you create a stable world. So your sanskar makes your sansar. It's not vice versa. And today the world is the way it is because of what we are making it through our sanskar, through our inner state of mind. And Baba says that if you follow Srimat, you change on the inside. And I want you to think about this today. Srimat is about 4 things. It is about what you know, who you remember, what virtues you uphold in your life, and whether you serve or not. So Srimat has 4 subjects: Gyan, Yog, Dharana and Seva. So what is it that you know as a deep knowing inside? That's Gyan. And there is one word called Gyan Bal. So when you know the truth makes you very powerful inside. Then there is the power of remembrance. When you remember the perishable, you always feel insecure. When you remember the one who is imperishable, almighty, and always your companion, then it gives you a lot of security inside. When you build your relationship with the one who is beyond birth and death, it makes you very secure inside. That's the power of yoga. And then there is the power of virtues. When you lead a life of purity, a life where you don't take sorrow, give sorrow, when you lead a life where you're not doing any sin under the influence of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed, this kind of a life makes you very powerful inside. And then there is the power of blessings which you earn by seva. And when you help other souls come to their power, when you do spiritual seva with your time, wealth, money, energy, speech, if you're helping other souls realize their power and come to their power, then that seva makes you earn blessings, and these blessings have a lot of power. And this is why Baba says, a soul who is knowledgeful, and by knowledgeful, Baba means that a soul who imbibes the truth, and the truth is seated as a belief system, is what the soul holds in the buddhi all the time. A soul who remembers Baba, not the perishable world. A soul who upholds purity and virtues in his life. And a soul that serves is a very powerful soul. And this power of blessings, power of purity, Gyan Bal and Yog Bal are what make a difference in times when you're faced with a difficult situation. If you have all this bal inside, if you are a powerful soul, then at that time, when there is a calamity, when there is a scene of destruction, you will not feel fear. You feel you are taken care of. You know you're going to a world where you'll have everything and you're not losing anything. This is just a phase which is here to place you in a better world. So how you experience a scene is completely decided by what you have created of yourself in the inside. And Baba is every day, and this is why Baba says, I am your father, teacher, and Satguru for the future. Because you will go to a good future only when you leave your body in a state of complete power and stability. And how will you leave the body in a state of complete power and stability? If you have all these attainments of how powerful the truth makes you, how powerful remembrance makes you, purity makes you, and blessings make you. And such a soul is bound to go to Satyug once you leave the body in a stable state. And Baba says that this is why I am teaching you the method to live your life in such a manner that you leave your body in a state of complete power and stability, and then also enjoy complete peace and happiness for 21 births. And Baba is teaching us these 4 subjects of Gyan, Yoga, Dharana and Seva precisely for that. And if you are really an embodiment of Gyan, Yoga, Dharana and Seva, then you will never feel a sense of loss in whatever is happening in this old world, because you're very sure that you deserve more and better after this. And you know that this whole system is collapsing only so that you can move to Satyug. So this collapse, this disintegration will not affect you, because you can see the bigger picture. And sometimes Baba gives a very simple analogy for us to understand this. And he says that if somebody has an old flat, an old house, and he already has a new house prepared, then the breakdown of that old house doesn't disturb him. Yes? You break the old house, you pull down the old house, it doesn't disturb you if you have your new house ready, because you are happy to move to the new one. But what gives you that assurance of a new world? It is this Gyan Bal, Yog Bal, Dharana Ka Bal and Seva Ka Bal. This is what makes you so sure of the world that's coming. And you see that we see the examples of this every day. You are in college, you have friends, you have a life, you have everything. You have a set structure of life. And then if you have studied well in the college, then you're happy to leave the college because you know you will be going to do better things after this. But if you have not studied well in college, you will be afraid to leave college because you don't know the future. So this knowing of the future is a very intuitive thing that the soul is capable of when you are making good of the present. When you're using your time, wealth, thought, energy, speech, action, everything well in the present, then it makes you very assured of the future. And then you're not willing to let go of what is, because you intuitively, psychologically, you know that what is awaiting you is better than this. But if you have not done your karma in the present, you will always be insecure about the future. The future is always unknown. But whether you feel faithful or fearful about that unknown future is about what you're doing today, not about the future. So if you are doing your karma today, you will be full of faith about the future. And if you're not doing your karma today, you will be full of future about the future, full of fear about the future. This is how it goes. So Baba says that I am teaching you the noblest of karma. I am teaching you the best remembrance. I am teaching you the truth. I am telling you what you need to uphold in your life. Purity is the greatest virtue. You need to become pure. And I'm teaching you how to earn blessings by doing spiritual seva. By giving an opportunity to a soul to become knowledgeful, loveful, peaceful, happy, blissful is the greatest kind of seva you can do. And that is the window for you to earn blessings. And when you do that, you are like Trikaldarshi. You know you have a good future. And you don't worry about letting go of the present. You don't worry about the disintegration and collapse that's happening around you in the present. And have you ever moved forward without letting go? That's not possible. If you have to move with your legs, you have to let go of the leg in the behind and step forward, right? If you don't let go of your leg that's behind, you don't lift it, can you step forward? You can't. But just think about it. If you have a doubt that if you lift your behind leg you will fall, then you can never walk ahead. So any transition, in order to move forward, you always need to let go of what is. But why are we so afraid to let go of what is? Because psychologically we know we don't deserve better. And the moment we are convinced internally that I deserve better, you will never be afraid of letting go of what is. I'm telling you something very spiritual today. It's not logical, it's not economics, it's not science. It's pure spiritual stuff and something you intuitively understand. If you just sit in silence and think about these things and introspect, you understand what I'm saying. And Baba says that in the Murli, Baba says a very nice thing today. You are claiming your inheritance of the future from me. When you do as I say, you are convinced that your future is taken care of. And when that happens, then nothing that will happen in the present moment will be able to put you in distress. That's what Baba is teaching us. And the world will go through a very tumultuous time. It will. It is destined in the drama now. And I want to point out today that there are two things. There is drama and there is karma. Okay? And they are two sides of the same coin. They are two sides of the same coin. Karma creates the drama. But once the drama is created, it becomes the basis of karma. And it's a cycle. And Baba says, the karma that you have done in the past, the force of that negative karma is so great right now that now it's a drama. Now it's something prefixed. We didn't stop. We continued doing negative karma for 2500 years. It's not like we didn't get warnings. We got warnings from our health. We got warnings from nature. We got warnings from the collapse of social systems. We got so many warnings, but we continued. And now nobody can stop that destruction, which is the drama we have created out of 2500 years of karma. And Baba says now it is prefixed in the drama because after that 2500 years of negative karma, you cannot say that now I don't want everything to collapse. It is going to collapse. And you can't stop it now. But what you can do is, you can now do what I am saying and ensure that after the collapse, when again everything comes together, you belong there. So now this is karma. Now you do this karma, then you will be able to deal with the drama that you've created out of past karma and ensure that you will be able to do karma for the next, do good karma for the next 21 births also. So now Baba says, don't think you can stop this anymore. And Baba in the Murli today very clearly says, now everything will collapse and you can't help it. Don't ask why and how. There are no answers now. The time of why and how is gone. Do you understand that there is a time to correct and there is a time to deal with what you have created? Yes, there is a point in time until which correction is possible. And after that, correction is not possible. Then you have to deal with what you have created. Yes, you take a bow and arrow. You have everything in control. You can correct it until you release the arrow. Once it's released, you cannot control where it strikes, you cannot control the damage it has done, and you cannot take it back. That's how karma creates drama. And when the drama is created, you have to deal with it. But you can check the next arrow you are striking. And Baba says, now you don't cry over the loss that is going to happen because of the past karma. It's happening. You can't stop it. But you take care of how you're dealing with that loss and whether you are feeling okay, powerful, happy, or a sense of loss while all that is collapsing. And that will depend on what you're doing with your time, thought, and money now, in the moment. And if you're doing what Baba is saying with your time, thought, and money now, then you will be able to overcome this phase of settlement and then go to a world where you have choice about karma again. And this is Gyan. And when you sit in silence and think about it, it makes sense. when you're not in resistance, when you really want to understand, you understand what Baba says. So Baba says, now create that stage. Use your time, thought, wealth, speech, action, everything according to Srimad. Baba says, remember me, remember me. Baba says, act in a knowledgeful way, do that. Baba says, purity means purity, no compromise. Baba says, do seva means do seva. And if you do that, Baba says, at least I can ensure you that your future is taken care of. And once that is taken care of, you don't mind the present. And there is a question, if sense of loss is not there, then there won't be sense of achievement as well. So sense of achievement and sense of loss both need not be there, based on external achievement and external loss. So your sense of achievement should come from the fact that Baba chose you. Okay? That's the only sense of achievement which can stay. Every other sense of achievement which you get from something that's coming from outside will fade away. Yes, today you get a good increment, next time you dread the evaluation process. So everything makes you insecure. That's why, when I talked about this, when I talked about this whole thing about gratitude in the meditation, so you can never be eternally grateful about perishable things. Because one moment you're grateful, the next moment you're in fear. But when you're grateful for what Baba is giving you, then you can always be grateful. Okay, and Baba is not giving you the very transitory achievements in Kali Yuga. Okay, those transitory achievements we don't have to rely on. Yes, and I always tell in the class, loss, gain, fame, defamation, yes, or heat, cold, death and life, they are all pairs of opposite which will always exist. And you don't have to be caught up in any of them. You don't have to be caught up in loss, but you don't have to be caught up in gain also. Because if you get caught up in gain, you will get caught up in loss. Because if that gain determines how valuable you feel, then that loss will take away your sense of value. Okay, so this is it. Then, so I will read out what Baba says in the Murli today. Baba says, what main thing is inculcated into the lives of the children who become knowledgeful like the Father? So knowledgeful, again, I am reminding you, it is 4 subjects. Gyan, Yog, Dharana, Seva. All the 4 is knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean only Murli studying. Yes, so if you become knowledgeful, that is, you are doing your bit in all the 4 subjects, then what is it that you will have inculcated in your life? Baba says they constantly keep smiling and never cry in any situation. And crying is an expression of a sense of loss. So you never feel at loss. Anything that happens is nothing new. Because all this happened in the last cycle also, and you anyways went to Satyug. So it doesn't matter. Those who now become knowledgeful in this way, that is, those who become cry-proof, never become peaceless in any situation. They are the ones who receive the sovereignty of heaven. Those who cry lose everything and lose their status. And it is very nicely put in Hindi. In Hindi it is said, Jin roya tin khoya. That means if you cry, you lose. If you lost but didn't cry, you didn't lose. Okay? You lost something externally, but you didn't mind, so it's not a loss. But if you cried over a simple thing, then you lost, because the one who cries now, the one who doesn't maintain a state of happiness, will be forbidden from going to the world of happiness. So Baba says, if you cry now, you lose your status, you don't become a deity. So that is true loss. Everything else that is lost is part of the drama, because this is a time of collapse. Everything is bound to be lost. Okay? Now, in the slogan today, Baba says, when your physical senses work according to your orders, that is what it is to be a master of the self. Yes? You want to be a master of the self? You know, these days it is very fashionable for children to say that I am a master of the self and I am working on my thoughts, but I cannot control any of my senses. Yes? I cannot control my tongue, I cannot control my eyes, I cannot control my other organs, I cannot control my ears, but I am a yogi. But I am meditating. So Baba says, no. If you cannot control your physical senses, you are not a master of the self. And if you are a Raj Yogi means Swaraj Adhikari. You are a master of the self. If you are meditating right, then you are in a position to control your senses. That is the sign of a powerful soul. If you cannot stop yourself from talking what you shouldn't talk, eating what you shouldn't eat, listening and paying attention to things that you have to ignore, or allowing your eyes to linger more than necessary on things that are not good for the soul, if you can't stop yourself from engaging in lust, if you don't have control over your physical senses, you are not a yogi. So Baba says, understand these signs very right. And I will tell you something in this connection. There is a very senior sister in the Brahma Kumaris, and she stays in the headquarter Madhuban. And she once shared an experience that there was a bunch of sannyasis who came to Mount Abu, and they asked that sister, so you are a yogi, how many hours can you sit in meditation? And that sister replied, how many hours I sit in meditation is irrelevant, because that's not what makes me a yogi. The sign of a yogi is, even if I sit in meditation for half an hour, I am in total control of my senses all throughout the day. And that's the sign of a yogi, and I can do that 24 hours. I am in total command over my senses 24 hours a day, and that makes me a yogi, not the fact that I can sit for 6 hours or 8 hours. And yes, if I have the time and opportunity, my body allows me to sit for 8 hours also. Even that is a physical sense, correct? So I can sit as long as I want. I can eat or talk as I want. I can only hear what I want. I can only see what I want. That's a yogi. So be very clear about the signs of a good yogi. Om Shanti.